Hey guys, it's Morgan and I'm back with another video. It's been a while since I posted a video. I've been wanting to do one. Usually I post one around the beginning of the year every year just to kind of sum up where I'm at and like what's going on and where I am in my life journey. This year I actually did make a few videos, but I haven't posted any, so I may or may not post them depending. I actually just had a birthday a few days ago and I am officially 40, as you can tell. So yeah, I'm 40. So today I just wanted to come on here and I want to talk, and I have a lot of things I want to talk about, but this is not going to be an update about where I am. This is going to be a video, just a conversational video about the things I don't do to lose weight. The things I either stop doing or the things that I recognize I shouldn't do to lose weight. So if I look a little different, it's because I've lost approximately 127 pounds. My surge anniversary was March, so I've a little over a year and like a year and half a month. So that's where I'm at. Okay, so let's get into it. So this may sound a little ironic because I'm sitting here sharing with you guys and like sharing this to the world, but what I'm gonna say is beware who you allow to influence you. Beware of all of the noise around you and what you're absorbing and what you're taking in and what you're listening to. Just be very aware of that. I wasn't really super in tune how certain things affected me, and I will say that before I had surgery, I was really heavily active doing research, looking up other people's journeys, and before surgery, that was a very positive thing in so many ways. I had to see that other people had done the surgery. I had to see other people who looked like me, who their struggle resembled mine, their journey I could relate to, and see that they were successful, to even believe that this was even possible for me, or even to be introduced to the idea of possibly getting bariatric surgery. So I had to see that visually, to even think that that was a thing that I could do. And then it was all positive, like seeing all of the joys, victories, and then seeing all the negatives and all the scary things that happened, just to be fully informed. So it was all good. After surgery, I quickly realized that those same forums were a detriment to me, because instead of looking for the why I should get surgery, why I shouldn't get surgery, what to expect with surgery, I was now being bombarded with, I guess it was always there, but it wasn't pertinent to me. It wasn't, when people were talking about certain things, it didn't pertain to me. So now that I've had after having surgery, different topics pertain to me, and it was stuff that was, a lot of it was just asinine, like a lot of it was just ridiculous. A lot of it, like 90% of it was like people manipulating their bodies to like the fullest and not allowing the process to happen, and a lot of fear, and a lot of people scared that they didn't know what they were doing, and it was just coming from a not good place. So I had to really quickly learn to stay out of those groups, and I had to learn to listen to my body and allow my journey to happen without judgment, because it's one thing to say to yourself, I haven't lost weight this week. It's another thing to say to yourself, I haven't lost weight this week. I'm horrible. I'm a failure. I'm doing something wrong. I need to immediately do something. That's all just based in fear, and it's all just bullshit. And you have to be really careful about what you're allowing in, and you have to make sure the two most important things that you can do before you get surgery to prepare for it is, number one, make sure that you have your filter, your screen for the bullshit up. And then also, the other most important thing is just to educate yourself about transfer addiction and be really, really prepared for that. So, another thing when it comes to bewaring the influencers you follow, the thing is that the diet industry is basically so saturated with immoral, inept, unethical, money hungry, shysters, skeezy, cheesy, sleazy sellers who are trying to sell you everything from shitty supplements that are really, sorry, my dogs. They will try to sell you anything to make $1, and they literally don't care. And one thing that I've really learned through this process is I've learned a lot about why I wasn't losing weight without the surgery. I've learned a lot about what it actually takes to lose weight with or without the surgery, what I was doing wrong. I want to do a video about what I would tell my before surgery self on how to lose weight, because it makes a lot more sense now, and things I would tell myself. So the diet industry, I'm very anti-diet. Like, I'm not for it whatsoever. I don't agree with it. I can look back and see how dieting has adversely affected me over the years and how it actually contributed to my weight gain, and it contributed to me not being able to lose weight. And the thing is the diet industry is huge, and there's a lot of people out there promoting, and there's a lot of noise, and it's really challenging to unlearn all of the diet culture baloney that I've absorbed, because I did my first diet probably in kindergarten. I remember one really strict diet I went on when I was 10, and when I tell you I've been fat my whole life, I am not joking. I will insert a picture here. So as you can see, I was literally fat my whole life, and I've been on so many diets. I've literally tried everything under the sun. I have done everything from every angle. Hormonally, I've been assessed. I've gone to therapy for this. I've spent tons of money on therapy because, media and professionals that I see have always, you hear over and over, like, if you're overeating, you must have some kind of mental thing going on. And so I've gone to therapy. I literally have like a PhD in Overeaters Anonymous, which I do not support at all. Like, I've just tried everything, and when I say everything, I mean I've tried it. And another thing too, this is kind of like a side note, is I was actually listening to a friend on Facebook yesterday, and one thing she said was she's had surgery. She's had pretty decent success. She's not the most successful, but she's had what I would call a good amount of success. I don't think she thinks that though, and I think that she's starting to, she doesn't really come out and say, like, I'm starting to feel like a failure. She does not come out to say, I feel like I need to do more. I feel like I could do more. She's not saying that directly, but she is saying things that, to me, read that. So one thing she said was, and she said this yesterday on a live, she said, all of the different things I've done to try to lose weight, they all essentially work, but I just never worked them long enough. To me, that was a big red flag, and I feel like when she said that, literally alarm bells went off in my head, and I said to myself, no, sweetie, those things were unsustainable. It is not you. You are not the problem. All of those stupid, corny, cheesy, fad diet things that you were doing, no, they did not work. You are not the fucking problem. They are. And it broke my heart to hear her say that, because that's kind of what I thought, and I'm pretty sure I stated that before, and I'm pretty sure I felt like I was the person, but I no longer believe that to be true. There's a lot of discussion about, and I'm going off on a complete tangent here, but okay, I had to jump up. So My cat is literally at the fence staring at a pit bull, growling at it, and I'm calling my cat, and he has the whole yard, and he's like up against the fence, like going on his back legs, growling at a pit bull. I just don't know. I hope the pit bull doesn't jump the fence. But anywho, I guess where I left off was there's a whole lot of discussion about and a whole lot of questions about, will this surgery like cure you of your eating disorder, things of that nature. And the thing is like, some people say yes it did, some people say no it will not. So technically it won't, you know, like it just won't if you truly have one. But the thing is that a lot of people don't take into consideration the biological components behind obesity and how it contributes to your hunger cues and your cravings. And so pre-surgery, I was not very good at determining whether or not I was truly hungry, because I would get hungry or get hunger cues, but things I've learned, noise, media, things I've ingested and believed would make me feel guilty for feeling hungry. Like, why are you hungry again? You shouldn't be hungry. You just ate. Like, why are you hungry? This has to be psychological. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Like, there's something wrong with you. Like, this was my noise in my head, because this is what I was taught and trained to understand from a lot of things. Like, literally from like watching The Biggest Loser from like 2005 up, and just really mainstream sources were telling me that there was an underlying problem, there's something wrong, it's not out of your control, it's in your control, you need help. And the thing is that when I would get hunger cues before I lost this weight, like I'm still overweight, obviously, like I'm still 217 pounds, and I fluctuate right now. I'm like sticking around there for right now, but so I'm still overweight. I'm not nearly as obese as I was, but pre-surgery, those hunger cues would happen and I would struggle with them. I would judge myself. I would feel very guilty for having them. And a lot of times I would try to fight them, because eating it wasn't a good relationship. It was a struggle. Like, I basically came to a point where I would hate just the whole relationship and having to eat food. Like, how many big people have ever gone on like a fast or something and said, man, like when I don't have to worry about eating, when I'm not eating, when it alleviates that food obsession, and you just feel so much better, and you say to yourself, I could just go without eating, I'm gonna be fine. I could just not eat and not have to think. Though after surgery, when you feel hunger, you eat, and then you're satisfied, and then you're done. And the thing is that I don't really, now looking back, like a lot of my hunger cues were actually biological hunger cues that had nothing to do with comfort eating. I would say like everybody comfort eats sometimes, and sometimes it's just fun to eat. I would say that like 10% of my eating is maybe for comfort, and like I can now understand it and feel it, and like I'm way more in tune with my hunger cues. So every once in a while, like, yes, like mine happen when sometimes my feelings are dysregulated a little bit and I'll just have too many feels, and so I want to eat something. So, and the other one is sometimes I'm pushing myself too much and I'm actually tired. So I'm actually tired and I'm like forcing myself to stay awake or work harder, and so I eat something to give myself a little boost of energy. And I really should just listen to my body and go to sleep, but it's like a alternative to sleeping. So those are a couple of my main like triggers to emotionally eat, which I would say like contribute to like maybe 10 or 15% of the time. It rarely happens. Majority of the time I actually feel hungry. I don't feel guilty anymore for feeling hungry. I eat when I'm hungry, and I just listen to my body, and it's so much easier now. And the thing is like, you carry so much estrogen in your fat cells. If you're overweight, your hormones are just flipping crazy and you feel so out of control. You can become a controlling person because you have no control over your body, and it's understandable. And it literally has made me, losing weight has made me just like less anxious and less just chill, like more chill and less moody. But the thing is like it's not because I've emotionally like, you know, gotten help. It's because it was underneath it all like biological. It was biology, and it was like the consequences of carrying that much fat and like my systems not being regulated, and it all goes together. Everything is interconnecting. It's not like one thing or the other. And everybody could use a little therapy, I get it, but mine is primarily was just obesity on a very biological level that was affecting everything. And the thing is you have to ask yourself, if you're overweight, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So you can't actually, you know, say like you can't say this is just an example. You can't say I lack self-confidence, therefore I eat because I don't feel good enough, so I eat, therefore I got overweight. Like, how do you know it wasn't because you were overweight, therefore you lack self-confidence? Like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So it's a whole lot, guys. So just be careful of who you allow to influence you. I'm just speaking for myself here. So I went way off on a tangent, but I think it's important. But we talked about the noise that's out there, and we've talked about the different influences you'll hear. Another aspect of bewaring the influence is, like I said, diet culture has so many people who are hustling you, and it is no different in the bariatric surgery community. There are literally people who, I'm going to talk about a couple of them, not going to say names, but there are people who got surgery when I got surgery, and they had the surgery, and then the next day they're on Facebook peddling their snake oil and peddling their meal plans and peddling all this stuff. And it's just like, there's a lot of people out here who are going through the journey, and it's a kind of like jumping off a cliff. You have a doctor's plan that you can follow and you should follow, but also there's a whole lot of unknowns, and like each person is so individual, and it's an individual journey. But here you have people who are on the journey who should understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all, who are selling their plan to others who are afraid, desperate, scared they're gonna fail, looking for a leader. And I just feel like that's super morally inept. It's morally inept. Like, stop acting like you're some kind of expert who has some kind of magic plan when you are just as flawed and just as much a failure and just as much a feared, you know, jumping off the cliff, trying to figure it out day to day like everybody else. Like, that's all you can do, and that's the best that anybody can do. And each plan is super individual. There's not a one size fits all, period. Not when it comes to losing weight with or without bariatric surgery. It's not a one size fits all, and it will never be. There are so many social media people who claim to have the plan. They're not all wrong, especially when it's things like some meal plans that you might just want the recipes, or some workout plans because you see their before workout bodies and after workout bodies and it resembles you and you can relate to their journey. It's not always bad to get ideas, but it is bad when you are being duped, and there's like, just think about it, you know, just think about it. Another thing is like, just be careful of all the hype. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm just going to use this as an example. When I say hype, I'm really referring to the misinformation that is literally run rampant, and people believe it to be fact and truth. So one of those is, like, for example, the whole concept of a stall. So I've seen people 10 days out of surgery. I've seen people 10 weeks out of surgery on Facebook in these groups talking about, oh my God, I'm in a stall. And the fact of the matter is like, friend, that's not a stall. It is a natural part of the journey. Like, your body has been overweight for years and years and years, and your body is desperately trying to find balance and homeostasis, and you're going to have, for me, one thing that I've noticed is my scale likes to stay and then boom, 10 pounds, and stay and boom, 10 pounds. Everybody's body is so different. Hormones play a factor. The thing is that yes, hormones play a factor. Does it matter at the end of the day? No, it doesn't. Who cares? You still need to do the same things regardless if your hormones are playing a factor. Regardless if you're a fast loser or a slow loser, it doesn't matter. It's literally irrelevant noise. Like, shut up and stop worrying about things that are absolutely irrelevant. Oh my God, I'm in a stall. Who cares? If you're eating healthy every day, if you're doing the right things, if you're not snacking all day long, if you're not doing some major like behavioral thing, that's if you're not engaged in some kind of behavior that's actually contributing towards your stall, then why are you worried about it? And then the thing is that people start manipulating their bodies to do what they want, and the thing is that that is such a messed up and flawed way of thinking, because at the end of the day, like, I don't care how smart you are, I don't care how genius you are, I don't care what your degrees are, I don't care if you're a doctor. The thing is that best believe, the fact is, at the end of the day, you will never be able to outthink hundreds of thousands of years of biology, and best believe that your body knows how to heal itself and take care of itself without you thinking about it. The thing is that if you get cut, you don't have to think about healing yourself. Your body knows what to do. If you're eating less and you're losing weight, your body knows what to do. The only thing you actually have control over is what you actually stuff in your face, and your stress level around your journey, that's more in your control. So stressing yourself out, being afraid all the time, being consciously anxious about, are you doing enough? Are you using your tools in the right way? Like, all of that is just unnecessary stress. Like, health is, for me, it's a place of peace within myself, contentment, and health. So if my stress level and peace of mind is going to be reduced, if my stress is going to reduce and I'm going to feel more at peace, if I have a freaking Milky Way that's this big, I'm not gonna fucking beat myself up because I ate a Milky Way. They're all interconnected, and even if right now you haven't had the surgery, even if right now you are a overweight, morbidly obese person, and you are reliant on sweets, brownies, candy, ice cream, whatever your thing is, chips, but that gives your body a stress relief, something, then it's working for you right now. The trick of it is to figure out other things that you can do to relieve those things or make it so you don't have those stress cues. But I don't think that losing weight and being super skinny or losing weight is worth like your mental health whatsoever. It's just not worth it. So I'm not sure if this is making any sense. I hope it is. Just don't buy the hype. Like, I hear so much about stalls. Like, let your body do what it does. Trust your body. let your body take its time it needs. Everybody is, like I said, on an individualized path, and you just have to let your body and trust that your body knows what it's doing. Like, I don't sweat the dumb stuff. Like, who cares? Like, I don't count calories. I don't count carbs or macros. Like, I've counted calories enough in my past, so I have a general idea of the amount of calories I'm eating. And I can always, if I really think I'm overeating or eating too much, I can always go look at it and see. But I worry more about my food container, and like, I have a cup-sized dish, and that's my meal. Like, I can't even eat one whole full cup of food, like actual measuring cup, in one sitting. And I just eat and I do what I do. And like, I personally, I can't eat fast food. I don't eat out, but I can eat some things that aren't healthy for me. Like, I can eat chips, or I can eat crackers, and it does go down really well. Like, it doesn't make me nauseated. It doesn't make me feel tight. It's actually like a slider. Like, I can eat more quantity of chips than I can like rice or chicken, because it's unhealthy and it just kind of slides down, and it's like very calorie dense, and it might look like this much chips, but it crunches down to like this much, you know, so your stomach can hold more. I just try not to eat those things, and if I do, I eat them sparingly, and if I really feel like I want one, I have one, and then I leave it alone and I'm done. Like, so for people who ask, does this surgery cure your eating addiction, your food addiction? Kinda. So another thing I will say that I don't do, and this is just me personally, so this video is getting long, but I'm gonna try to wrap it up here. I used to get these big motivational bursts around January, and I would ramp up to do all the things, and I felt so empowered and so driven, and I was gonna do it. And now when I look back at that stuff and that thinking, I thought I was really motivated, and I thought that I thought I needed that motivation to lose weight. But the thing is that was not motivation. That was pure panic. That's all it was. It was panic. When this new year came around, I started feeling those feelings, and I just recognized them, and I was like, what the heck? Like, even though I had already lost like 100 pounds, and I was doing really great on my eating, all of this panic. And I was like, oh my God, like, it's just like this cultural learned thing that we ritualize at the beginning of the year, and it's pure panic. And all of my videos were in the first of the year when I came on the scene, and I was like, okay guys, I am this, and this. I'm a failure at this, and this is my plan, and I'm gonna stick to it. That was pure panic. It was 100% fear that I had fucked it up. I was going to do all the things. I was gonna get it right. It was fear. It was fear. And I hope this is translating and making sense, because sometimes it's not always super easy for me to articulate through words, but I'm trying to really like make sure you understand what I mean by fear, so you can feel me out. But like, it was underneath all of that. I didn't recognize it as fear at the time, obviously, but underneath everything, it had to do with timing, the idea of time, and panic that I had messed up, fear that I would have to go another. It was just so much fear. Like, I really can't articulate it, and maybe I can try it later, but I don't want to get too caught up on it. But basically, one thing that I don't do now is if I have any feelings of urgency, any feelings of oh my God, I messed up, I need to get it done. Engage, engage, engage. All your effort, willpower, like that kind of feeling, that like urgency, drastic, life changing, like we need to make a lifestyle change kind of feelings. Those to me are big red flags. And I've come to learn that no actual change is going to happen in some burst of force, of willpower, of energy. Like, it's not going to happen. And one thing I've come to learn is that it is far better to run for 5 minutes every single day than it is to run for an hour for 5 days. It is honestly, the name of the game is the tortoise and the hare. Like, that is the actual thing. It is so much better to do a small thing for 300 days in a row, even if for 65 you don't do it. If you do a small thing for 300 days in a row, it compound effect will always win. So doing all the lifestyle changes, going on the fad keto diets, doing all the things that are unsustainable for a certain amount of time, you will never win. You have to be rational, logical, forgiving, show yourself grace, and make small changes over the long haul. It is literally setting yourself up for failure when you try to change everything in your life at one time. Just do small behavioral things and slow so that you don't backslide. So if you want to give up soda, but don't give up soda and all the things all at one time. It's literally going to be the biggest mindfuck, and it's so hard. Like, it's almost so hard that it's nearly impossible, and some people accomplish it, but for some reason in our culture, I think it's kind of like the American dream effect, but it's like you have one person who succeeded at doing it, and because they succeeded, a million people believe they can succeed and do it, but yet only one person succeeded. So think about it. Like, I mean, just mathematically think about it. Like, if everybody was succeeding at it, nobody would be following anybody on Instagram for inspiration, because it would be easy to accomplish. Like, there's a reason why there's one person who succeeded and a million people dreaming that they could have that success and following them, because it's not easy to obtain that success. It's so not easy that it's damn near like impossible, like 1 in a million, right? So weight loss is not easy with or without surgery, but I'm getting off on a tangent again. So the next thing, one thing I definitely do not do, and I literally think this is huge, it's a small thing that makes a huge difference, and I tell it to everybody, my family, everybody who doesn't have weight loss surgery. This is life-changing. What I'm about to say is the tiniest thing you can do, which will change your life, and that is, do not drink whilst you eat. So you are told certain things you should not do after weight loss surgery, and one of those is you should not drink while you eat. And a lot of people are so used to drinking while they eat, they can't fathom it, they don't want to do it, and they continue drinking while they eat even after surgery. And the thing is that there's a YouTube video about this, and a person puts applesauce in a funnel, and it just kind of sits in the funnel, and it just kind of slowly trickles into the glass. but as soon as you put one capful of water into the applesauce, it starts flowing out like real fast. It only takes a small sip to wash your food out of your stomach. If you ever listen to commercials, whether it's for Coca-Cola, fast food commercials, movie theater commercials, it literally says, wash it down with an ice cold soft drink, right? Like, wash it down. So literally what you're doing, two things. If you don't have bariatric surgery and you're drinking while you're eating, what you're doing is you're eating your burger and then you're washing it down out of your stomach so you can eat more shit. That's all you're doing. If you're drinking enough water throughout the day, if you're chewing your food, you can wait 30 minutes to an hour after you eat to drink. You don't have to drink directly before you eat either. You should wait. If you know you're gonna eat, stop drinking, eat your food, and then wait after you eat to drink. All you're doing is washing it down. Another thing too, if you've had surgery, you don't want to stretch out your stomach, and even if you're not washing it completely down, one thing you're doing is if you're eating, let's say, chicken or something, there's gonna be chicken and there's gonna be bites of chicken and there's gonna be air in between or gaps in your pouch. But when you drink it, you're gonna push it down, condense it, and you're just stretching your stomach. You're pushing the food. Just let it do what it does. Let your stomach do what it does. And it is one of the easiest ways to maximize your surgery. I mean, you paid money for it. Let's maximize your surgery. And for me, things like working out, that's hard. To maximize my surgery, like, it's a challenge for me. Like, it's a lot of work. But to not drink water while you eat, that's an easy thing that I'm willing to give up, and it's going to maximize it so immensely. And like I said, if you haven't had bariatric surgery, if you do that habit, you're gonna have a lot less room in your stomach to stuff food, because your stomach is gonna be full of food instead of washing it out and then making more space to eat more shit. Just allow yourself to feel full. Another thing is like, try not to fall back into your old habits. For me, one of those is soda. I don't drink soda. I haven't. And if you get weight loss surgery and like you try to like do one of your old habits, like take a sip of soda or have a bite of ice cream, and it makes you sick, like, listen to your body. Don't keep pushing it, because eventually, if you keep trying, your body will be okay with those things. There are plenty of people who go back to soda. Soda has gas. It will inflate your stomach. It will make gas in your stomach. It will stretch you out. I will not drink soda. I drink coffee. Like, that's a backsliding away, because there's fat, dairy, sugar in it sometimes. Like, certain things that you can't live without, pick a couple bad things. Pick a thing. Coffee and ice cream. Like, pick a thing. But don't do all the things. Don't do the chips and the soda and the coffee and the ice cream and the crackers and the fast food. Like, I cannot eat fast food. I cannot eat fried food. But the thing is, if I kept at it and kept eating those things, I would eventually be able to, and I don't want to. One thing I can eat M&Ms, brownies. I can't really eat Oreos, or something about it makes me sick. I can't really mess with ice cream, but I'm not going to keep tempting fate and keep eating it. If I do eat it, it's like a spoonful. But I get it. Like, I'm not saying cut out all the things, but I'm saying, like, be mindful not to bring all of the bad habits back. If it's something that's really, really nagging at you, like, oh my God, I really want a coffee. I've been without a coffee. Have a freaking coffee and just be like, whatever, it's my thing. Like, I'm not smoking crack. I'm not smoking meth. I'm not, an exercise addict. I'm not overeating. I'm not gambling. I'm not a porn addict. Like, let me have my coffee. Like, that's how I feel about it at this point. Like, screw you. Like, if I am 10 pounds heavier than maybe my normal weight or something, but it allows me to have a coffee and that coffee keeps me sane, then okay with that. Like, and for me, a coffee addiction is way more acceptable than a like alcohol. Like, I don't, like, that's another thing too. Like, I don't drink. Like, I have had like 2 or 3 glasses of wine in the last year, but they're like this big. I can't drink anywhere. And I've never been a big on alcohol. Like, I got that out of my system in my 20s. Like, I was like drinking and had all the fun. So I got it out of my system. Thank you, Jesus. And I've just never had a problem with it. Like, I think I could transfer to alcoholic, and the reason why, and I've always been mindful of this, is that in my 20s, like, I was nowhere near an alcoholic. Like, I've never experienced that out of control feeling. But what I will say is that when it comes to substances like cigars, alcohol, I don't do moderation well. Like, that's my addictive nature. Like, if I start smoking cigars, I am not that girl who can just go smoke like 1 cigarette or 1 cigar at the end of my day. And like, my brain will tell me I can. Like, it will tell me, like, you can have a cigar and just smoke 1 a day. You'll be in control and that won't hurt you. Your throat won't get sore. You won't get cancer. Like, you'll be fine. I know I can't. Like, literally, this time of year, just coming and sitting on this back deck, coming and sitting on my porch, it makes me want to smoke, because like my brain correlates relaxation and like outdoors and porch and bonfires with smoking. And yeah, so that's the thing. And what else? I just know my addictive behaviors. When I would drink alcohol in my 20s, I wasn't an alcoholic to where I wanted to drink all the time, but one behavior that made me realize that like I kind of identified real young that like I'm an alcoholic waiting to happen. And the reason was because once I started drinking, which wasn't that often, and I never used it for oh my God, I'm depressed, I need a drink. I used it for, oh my God, we're gonna go out and party, I want to be drunk. Once I started drinking, I would drink hard. Once I started drinking, I would just keep drinking, and I was like, I would go ham. Like, I would drink until I was like sloshed. And like, I just couldn't get to that like place of like, okay, I feel good, I'm done drinking, when it was vodka. Like, I would just drink until I was like inebriated, and like it wasn't fun anymore. And like, I could only drink high-end liquor because I didn't want a hangover. But I got it out of my system, and like I just don't like drinking. And like I was able to identify early on that alcohol could potentially be a problem for me. I have alcoholics in my family, like like grandparents and stuff, and aunts and uncles, and I recognize that, okay, this is the feeling, this is how it starts, and I need to be careful. And like, it just wasn't my thing. I guess my drug of choice was always food. It was enough, it was free, it was morally more acceptable in my eyes, even though I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody just because like I was reliant on food and not drugs. But it was definitely like more of a mood stabilizer for me of choice. And thing is that now that I'm not supremely overweight, I don't need any mood stabilizing. Like, I'm pretty mellow and calm, and so like it goes back to the chicken and the egg thing, right? So don't fall back into bad habits. That is basically the things that I don't do that have given me success. All of these, not doing these things, are way more important. The not doing things is way more important than the what I'm doing things. These are my reasons why I've had success. These are the reasons why I'm able to do what I'm doing, is because I'm able to recognize what the heck not to do. And a lot of these things are not talked about, and they're not discussed, and don't do them. Like, this is what I don't do. So that's me. That's what I'm not doing. and I want to make some more videos. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do an update one. I might put some old ones I put on here, but that's where I'm at. And thank you guys for watching. And I'm sorry this video is kind of like crappy and long, but whatever. It is what it is. My updates are always pretty long. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, like, comment if you want me to talk about anything. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and wherever you are in your journey, like, bless you and stay strong, and sending positive thoughts your way always. Okay guys, bye.